All right. Might have been under a minute, but still, let's go ahead and get started. I do want to congratulate and welcome you to today's webinar. Congratulations on your admission, BME Admits. This webinar is exclusively for you, for those of you who are admitted to the master's program for biomedical engineering. So congratulations. Welcome to the Trojan family. My name is William Schwerin. I am a part of the Viterbi Admission and Student Engagement Office at the Viterbi School of Engineering. I'm joined today by a handful of my colleagues, including Daisy Perez, who will do the second part of the presentation. I just have a few slides that I want to welcome and introduce you to, and then we'll hand it off to Daisy. She's actually the departmental advisor for your program, so she will have some really relevant and great information to share with you. In addition to that, I'm joined by my colleague, my colleague Paula, as part of the Admission and Student Engagement Office, and one of our current BME students. She's in the BME General Program. Sharanya is here as well. So we're all here to hopefully provide you with as much information as you need to make it an informed decision when the time comes. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'll talk for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and then really I'm going to hand it off to Daisy to get into more about the department. But you're admitted to the University of Southern California. We're located in Los Angeles. We go by USC. USC is a private institution. We have about 47,000 total students at the university. And something that struck me when I first started working here is that we actually have more graduate students than undergrads at USC. We have about 25,000 graduate students at the university, and the remaining 22,000 or so are undergrads. So that's unique. It's very unique where we have more graduate students enrolled than undergrads. And the same type of ratio where we have more graduate students than undergrads applies to the engineering school, believe it or not. So it's a very graduate focused. Masters and PhD students are the majority of our student population within the School of Engineering, which is great. Within Los Angeles, though, there's a number of things for students and opportunities for students available. I like to tell students, Los Angeles is a big city. So you'll be a small fish in a big pond, so to speak. But there's a number of opportunities and exciting things for you to do, not only on campus, but in and around campus as well. I think one of the factors that students are drawn to USC, in addition to being a great place to pursue a graduate program, is our proximity to industry and just our proximity to be honest, fun things to do as a young person as well. So this slide shows Silicon Beach, which is essentially all the cool tech companies in Silicon Valley realized how awesome our beaches were. That's what I like to say. That's my theory, at least. And so they opened up a lot of offices down in the Southern California area as well. And so you can kind of see and intermixed into in between some of these well-known industry leaders are some of our research centers. You see our Institute for Creative Technologies, our Information Sciences Institute. These are all USC research centers as well. And the university is actually, if you're looking at a map, I'd say about, without traffic, it's probably maybe a 25, 30-minute car ride. It's maybe 10 minutes, but there's also shuttle buses that USC has that take students over to these research centers. And you could take Metro line trains to the west side of Los Angeles where the beaches are. So there's access to these areas as well for students. Just a little bit more about proximity to industry and where we are in Los Angeles. Short walk away, distance-wise, is the USC Village, which they have a Trader Joe's and a Target, and there's everything you need shopping-wise at the USC Village, in addition to restaurants. And the Natural History Museum, California Science Center are also across the street from USC. They're free for students. In addition to where the USC football team plays, which is the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Now, what's great about that is the football team plays there, obviously, as I mentioned. But I believe in 2026 or 2027, don't quote me on that, but in one of those years, the World Cup is actually coming and they're going to play a game. You know what? I am misspeaking. They're going to play a game in Los Angeles. I don't believe it'll play. It might be played at the Coliseum, but it's likely to be played in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium, which is also not far from our campus. So it's, as you would say, 50 cents away by bus. It's within 15 miles away. Uh, Add it to the list there. Santa Monica Pier, Venice Beach, Beverly Hills. So proximity wise, as a student, if you can't find anything on campus to do, if you're looking for some fun, there's definitely things to do outside of campus as well. Um, I want to talk a little bit about our mentorship program before wrapping it up and handing it off to Daisy. This is a really nice program that was started, gosh, a number of years ago. It essentially is current USC Viterbi students who want to give back their time. They know what it's like to sometimes travel very far distances, maybe not knowing anyone really. And it definitely takes a lot of courage to do that. And they want to give back their time and be mentors to incoming graduate students. And so this is a program as an incoming graduate student you can sign up for and be paired with a mentor, just to help answer kind of questions you may have, kind of show you the ropes, where to go, great study places on campus. So this is an exciting program that you will, if you submit your statement of intent to enroll, you'll get information about how to sign up. Now, we encourage students get involved. There's a number of opportunities to get involved and make friends and network with other students as well. There's a mobile app for iOS and Android called Engage SC, which is something that you can download and you have access to and can view all like the student orgs and events that are going on in and around campus. It's a really great showcase of our community that allows students to get involved. Now, I mentioned the statement of intent briefly earlier. As soon as you submit the statement of intent, you'll have access to the pre-orientation resources. Orientation will take place in August, usually I think the second week maybe in August, but you'll get information about that. The Viterbi Mentorship Program, which I just talked about. And you also connect with your department one-on-one with your advisors, and they'll probably have a webinar too, and information on housing and international students. You can request your I-20 and initiate the visa process as well. So the fall deadline you will have access to if you go into your USC portal, select the program you were admitted to for biomedical engineering, and it should list the deadline that we have. Now, most of you will have the April 15th deadline, commitment deadline. So just know it's likely that will be your deadline. You can go into the portal and check, however. With that, that's all I have on my portion. I'm going to hand it off. If you have further questions, obviously we'll be on for the rest of the time. You can ask in the Q&A. Please do use the Q&A to ask your question, or you can scan that and contact us through our website as well. That being said, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and hand it off to Daisy Perez, our Biomedical Engineering Master's Program Advisor. Daisy, take it away.
Thank you, William. Let me share my screen now. And oh, all right. So hi, everyone. My name is Stacey Perez. I'm the Assistant Director of Graduate Advising and Student Engagement at the BME department. First off, congratulations on your admission to USC. I know this is a big decision, which university you go to, so we definitely want you to be well informed. So if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A and we'll try to answer as best as we can. So first off, I just want to talk a little bit about the department. So the department was founded in 1976. We offer 4 different master's degrees, which I will go over in a bit. And we have a total of 140 master's students in our program. So as a whole, the department has around 500 students. 140 of them are master students. I would say this is a really good size department just because your classes, you might be used to your undergrad courses being 100 students, over 100 students. In your graduate BME courses, I would say the average number of students in your class would be like 15 to 20. So very small classes, which gives you a good way to connect to your peers and to faculty and to really get an intimate experience. We really like our students to get to know one another. So as you can see in this picture, this is from the BMES conference 2 years ago, but there's a mix of undergrads, PhDs, master's students. We really encourage networking. Like William mentioned, it's good to get to know people. And that's something that our department would really encourage within our department, and also for you to get to know people even outside of Viterbi is something we really encourage. So moving on to our department chair, his name is Peter Wang. He got his BS in mechanical engineering at Peking University in Beijing. And then he received his PhD in bioengineering at UC San Diego. He also completed his postdoc at UC San Diego, and then we stole him over, so he's been with us for about 2 years now. Here are some awards that he's won, but he's very friendly. So if you do end up coming to USC and you see him around, say hi, introduce yourself. He really loves meeting our students and interacting with our students. We have a small student affairs team. So there's 3 of us on the team. There's myself. I am the master's program advisor. So throughout the program, you would be working with me. There's Christopher Knoll on our team, who's director of undergraduate affairs. He primarily works with bachelor students. He's a bachelor's program advisor. And then there's William Yang, associate director of graduate affairs. He primarily works with PhD students. You might receive emails from them if you decide to attend USC about things going on in the department. So just wanted to introduce them in case you did receive anything from them in the future. Okay, so going over our master's degree programs, like I mentioned, there's 4 different programs. I didn't want to go too into detail on the specific curriculum, but again, if after this session you want to email me and set up a meeting and talk more about the curriculum, we can do so. But just to cover the units required and a little bit about what the program requires of you. We'll go over one by one. So let's do biomedical engineering first. 28 minimum units required. 17 of those units are required courses, and then 11 of those units are elective courses. So when it comes to this specific program, your elective courses can come from the BME department. They can be courses outside of the BME department within Viterbi, and sometimes they can even be courses outside of Viterbi. So we have students who have taken classes at the School of Pharmacy. Some have taken business classes if they have more of that entrepreneurial spirit. So they can vary as long as they're approved by our department, they could count as their elective. This degree is offered on DEN, and DEN is our distance education network. That basically is our online version of the program. So the same classes that you're taking in person, those are the same ones that are live streamed for our DEN students. And the thesis. So this is a question we get a lot. Is a thesis mandatory? For our programs, it's optional. You don't need to complete a thesis, but we do recommend it if you are planning to apply for a PhD program or you want to stay within the research industry. But again, totally optional, up to you. There are other ways to get involved in research. The second program I will go over is the medical device and diagnostic engineering. So again, 28 units required. 17 of those units are required courses. 6 to 8 units would fall within the specific track that you decide to pursue. So within the medical device and diagnostic engineering degree, there's a regulation track, a medical technology and device science track, and a product development track. So 6 to 8 units would come from one of those tracks. And then the remaining units that you have to reach the 28 units would come from electives. And again, these can come from BME. These can come from other Viterbi courses or outside departments. This degree is not offered online just because it does have a hands-on component. And it doesn't have a thesis because it has a project course. So that's what we replace the thesis with, is the project course. And the project course is mandatory. Moving on to the biomedical data analytics degree. So 28 units, 20 required courses, and 8 elective units. So specifically for this degree, these elective units do come from a predetermined list that we give to you. So you can find this on our website, but these electives do come from courses that are already pre-selected. So you would have to choose from that list. This degree is not offered on Then, just because it's one of our newer degrees. And the thesis option is again there, but it's not required. Moving on to medical imaging and imaging informatics, 28 units required, 20 units are required core courses. And same thing for this one, these 8 units of technical electives, these also do come from a predetermined list. So the electives that you choose will come from a list that we provide to you. This degree is offered on Then, so it is online. And again, thesis option if you want to complete a thesis. All right, so just to go over some general USC policies, we do require all students to maintain at least a 3.0 GPA. If at any point your GPA drops below a 3.0, you would be placed on academic probation. And I know that sounds really scary, but we do try to work with you to get back to good academic standing as much as we can. All students need to enroll in at least one unit every semester. That's fall and spring. Summer semester is optional. So if you don't want to take a summer class, you don't have to. Our specific department doesn't offer summer classes. So if you did decide to take a summer class, it would have to be from a different department. But one unit per semester is required to maintain your student status. If you are using financial aid, you do need to enroll in at least 4 units each fall and each spring. And for students that are international, you do have a requirement of enrolling in 8 units each semester. So you do have to be full-time if you're an international student on a visa. You have a maximum of 5 years to complete your program. I would say average students complete it in 2 years. Some students decide to take on more classes and they complete in a year and a half. Some decide to just participate in the program part-time, and that kind of extends it to 2.5, 3 years. So it depends how many classes you take per semester, but average is 2 years, and you do get a maximum of 5 years. And then lastly, there is no comprehensive exam to earn your master's. So what I mean by this is that some schools require you to take a comprehensive exam right when you're about to graduate in order to graduate. And we don't do that here at USC. So what we do is, as long as you pass your classes with a C or above and you have a 3.0, at least a 3.0 GPA, and you will be all set to graduate. Research at BME. So we like to say that our research is an intersection of data and computation, cells and tissues, and device and imaging. You can see some of the research areas listed here. This is some of what our faculty is currently doing research in. There's a lot more. But something that I also wanted to mention is that our BME faculty does have collaborations with the faculty in the USC Keck School of Medicine. So that's research in blood stem cells, cancer, brain disorders, cancer immunotherapy, lots of research going on here at USC. Like I mentioned, you can do a thesis and you would get involved in research, but you can also volunteer in labs and do research as a volunteer. Sometimes labs let you come in to shadow, and you can also get credit towards your degree if you enroll in the research course. So different ways to get involved, but lots of research going on here on campus. Getting involved. So I always encourage students to get involved. And Willem kind of talked about this, all the events going on campus, Engage SC. Our department specifically, we have some signature events that we hold. So first off, we hold what the Welcome Back barbecue in the fall, where we invite all our students, undergrad, master's, and PhD students to come eat lunch with us. There's games set up. There's raffles, it's fun. So we encourage all students to attend just so you get to know each other. Sometimes the faculty stops by, so that's a good way of meeting the faculty as well. This school year, we initiated the BME Career Chats, where we bring in alums who speak about their career. Sometimes they speak about their career, and they've also been keep in touch with current students. So that's a good way of building your network and um, learning about new careers, because sometimes you get your degree and then you think, well, what am I going to do with my degree? What career options do I have? So this is a good way to find out of the different career paths you can take with a BME degree from a USC alum. And also tea time. So tea time is more of a social hour. This is where we just provide snacks for students. They come. I'm usually there and we just catch up. This is open to our graduate students, our master's and PhD students. And then something else I would suggest is to attend Viterbi Career Connections events. They have a lot of events on resume building, networking, building your LinkedIn profile, things like that, that would really help you in professional development. And if you're planning to get an internship or applying for a job, their resources are really helpful. And again, Engage SC is always a good way to check what's going on campus. There's always something going on. Second would be getting hands-on experience. So again, if you want to get involved in research, that's a good way to get experience and put something on your resume. Again, applying for internships and part-time jobs is also a good way to get some experience. And then lastly, student organizations. There are so many student organizations here at USC, but I just listed 3 that are more relevant to our graduate students and to biomedical engineering. The first is Graduate Students of Biomedical Engineering, GSBME. So they hold a lot of networking events. They hold social events for graduate biomedical engineering students. Viterbi Graduate Student Association. So this is very similar, but this one is open to all of Viterbi. So you have a lot more students from different departments, not just BME in this specific student org. And med design. So this one is specifically focused on medical devices. I believe the students get put into groups and then you work on a project creating a medical device throughout the semester, the school year. So really good student orgs to get involved in. There are some students who have told me they got involved in robotics because they've had a past interest in robotics. There are some who have joined like intramural soccer. Some have done dance organizations. So different ways to get involved, but definitely I would suggest join something just so you get to know people and you make your experience a better experience. So some frequently asked questions that we get from new students, I've listed here. So the first is, can I transfer units to my degree? And the answer is no. All the units that you count towards your degree need to be taken while you're a USC BME graduate student. Can I change my major within BME? So maybe you were coming in as a biomedical engineering major and you review the curriculum for medical imaging and imaging informatics and you want to switch. The answer is yes, but you need to complete at least one semester of the program that you're currently enrolled in. So if this is something you'd be considering, just let me know. That way we can make sure that the classes you take apply towards the program that you're planning to switch to. The only exception to this rule would be switching into the medical device and diagnostic engineering, just because that one has a different admissions process. So that would be the only exception. Can I take courses in other departments? Yes. So actually with some of our degrees, you will be required to take courses in other departments. But the answer is yes. And something to just keep in mind is that some departments don't give permission for students outside of their department of the major to enroll in the course until after all their students have enrolled in the course. So for BME classes, you always have priority, but if you wanted to take a chemical engineering course, there might be a little bit of a delay in getting clearance to take the course just because they want their students to enroll first. But if you get approval, then you are more than welcome to take courses in other departments. So this is a big one. Will I automatically be guaranteed admission into the PhD program? And the answer is no. You will still have to go through the application process. Sometimes students coming in want to pursue a PhD after their master's. And this is something I wanted to just get out of the way. It won't be guaranteed admission. Everything will be the same. The application process will still be the same for you as if you were not a US student. The only, I would say the benefit would be if you did get into the PhD program, all the courses you take as a master's student would count towards the PhD program. So they would transfer over. But again, admission is not guaranteed. All right. So I wanted to open it up to questions. Let me check if I have any so far. Um, I don't think I do, or I can't see, but if anyone sees any questions, please let me know. I don't see them on my screen. This is the time. Oh, here it is. Move that over here. So the question is, can I switch online halfway during the program if I start in the in-person? And do I have to commit to being in person the entire course of study? So it would depend. So if you're an international student, you would have to be in person. Um, Usually if there is a reason behind you wanting to be online, for example, maybe you got a job and it requires you to move, so you can't attend in-person classes, then we would be able to switch you over to online if the program is offered online. If it's the MDDE program or the Biomedical Data Analytics program, those aren't offered online, so that wouldn't be possible. But if it is available online and you have a reason as to why you want to be changed to online, then we would possibly be able to do that. Let's see. What are the funding options for international student? Oh, that question just went away. Okay, so I see that Paola answered that question on tuition. Yes, but if you have any questions on funding, anything like that, please reach out to the financial aid office. They are the pros when it comes to financial aid and funding. Any other questions? Ask them now. You want to make sure you're informed. Okay, here's another one. What is the process for getting TA-ship or research stipends as a master's student? Are there any major differences between those and work study? Uh, so for master's students, we don't offer TA-ships or research stipends. Our department doesn't offer TA-ships or research stipends. One way, similar to being a TA, what we have for master students is what we call a course producer, where you help professors with grading and things like that. The process for getting those positions would be to speak to our staff who organizes course producer assignments, which is William Yang. But what we look for when we assign those course producer positions are for you to have taken that class and for you to have gotten a B plus or above in that specific class. But as for research, I've heard of students get paid research positions in other departments. For example, at the School of Pharmacy, I heard someone had a paid internship. Um, but TA ships, we don't offer those within BME. And the difference between those and work study, I believe work study would come from your whatever your financial aid package includes. Um, so I'm a foreigner student. Is there a difference between local student and study and other aspects? I'm not sure I understand that question. Is there any difference between local student and study and other aspects? How do BME students? Okay, how do BME students do in the job market after graduation? So we survey our students every year after they graduate, and a majority of them either follow or pursue higher education, so they're getting their PhD or they're getting another master's. Um, I would say a good majority of them either work in industry. We have a lot of our students who are at Abbott, Medtronic is another big one. Um, I think it's definitely harder for our international students to get roles after they graduate. But I would say in order to help you be competitive in the job market after you graduate, make sure you get involved, try to get internships in the summer, network, because networking is really important. Getting to know people who are in the industry is super important as well. Okay. And I am just going to pause the Q&A for now. Again, if you have any questions, just put them in the Q&A. But I did want to get to our student panel. And let me just go to the next slide. My information will be here. I'll leave it here just in case you want to contact me and dive a little deeper into any of the degrees. But I did want to introduce our current students. Let's see. So we have Sharanya and we have Labiba today with us. So if you two can just, I'm actually gonna stop share so you can be on the big screen. All right. So if you two can just introduce yourselves, tell us where you are from, what program you're completing, and why you chose USC.
Awesome. So yeah, first of all, congratulations to all admitted students. I'm Sharanya Kumar and I'm from India. And I'm graduating this semester actually. And yeah, and why I chose USC is yeah. I had like one was because I was really interested in this research Dr. Chung was doing. So I had been looking after her work from India. So I really wanted to be with her and work during that stuff. And the course that she was teaching, that was nano medicine and drug delivery. And that was one of the major reasons I chose USC. The other reason was because it was in LA in California, and overall USC is like a great school. So that's the reason I chose USC.
Hi everyone, my name is Labiba. I'm a first year medical device and diagnostics major here at USC. And one of the reasons why I chose USC was because, well, after I graduated from my undergrad, I joined a lab that actually had a lot of USC students, and I met a lot of people that were in the medical device and diagnostics program. And I just heard about how it's a way to get more industry experience, and that's something that I really lacked and I wanted in a master's program. And that was a huge reason why I applied to USC.
Great. Yeah, definitely. As a LA native, I can William was going over at the beginning of the presentation, things to do in LA. So definitely can second that. There's always something going on in LA. And like Laviva mentioned, you're going to meet people from USC when you go to industry, when you're working. So that definitely helps. So I'd like to hear from you. How do you feel classes differ from undergraduate classes? Is it harder? What's the coursework like? How much time do you spend studying for classes? Was it what you expected coming into graduate school?
Awesome. So yeah, the classes I feel like they're more in depth, and there are like if you need to focus on your classes, but at the same time the cohort is small, like you said, like we have like a close-knit community, especially biomedical as a department, and each class has a cohort of like around 20 students. So we're really close with our professors. So I had taken BME 650 with Laliba to last semester, and so we had so much fun during that class, even though it was pretty complicated. We spoke with the professor, we had a lot of quizzes, and I believe like studying probably like an hour every day and probably like few hours more on the weekend would be enough. And we also have like quizzes, assignments, and projects that would keep us throughout.
Yeah, no, I definitely second that where the classes are a lot smaller, so you get more of a chance to interact with your professors, which is great. And as for difficulty, because I came from a UC system, I felt like my classes were a lot easier, especially since now I knew that I wanted a graduate program in medical device and diagnostics. That's another reason why I feel like I was more interested in my course materials, so I did better in my classes as well because of that.
So Labiba, a follow-up question because you did come from a UC system. How does it feel going from a quarter system to semesters?
Oh, I would say a lot chiller. Like, I feel with the quarter system, I was always rushing. Like, I had a midterm week 2. Here, the midterms are at like a reasonable pace. Like, you'll have them week 5 or later. And it's just a lot better compared to the quarter system. I'm not fighting for my life.
Yeah, I agree. So, okay. How have you two gotten involved on campus? Have you had any part-time jobs? Have you joined any student orgs? What has your experience been like with getting involved on campus at USC?
Yeah, my experience over in the campus has been.
Oh no, I think she
Oh, looks like we lost
logged
your audio.
out. Labiba, you can go ahead and answer and hopefully she can come back.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I'm also a Viterbi graduate student ambassador, so I'm involved in that. A lot of that has to do with kind of just being a liaison between prospective students and graduate students. So I work on a platform called Unibuddy, and different students will like reach out to me asking questions about applications or what it's like at USC and things like that. I was also a course assistant, not for Viterbi, but for the School of Pharmacy as well. And because I have like a regulatory focus and I wanted just more experience in that background. And that was a great experience just being able to teach different students, especially since it was an international program as well. So I got to meet a lot of different students from different countries.
Yeah, I think that's something really great about the program is that it's very you meet people from all over, which is nice, and you learn about different cultures and um things like that. So I think we got Sharanya back. You're back. All right.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. My laptop crashed for some
No,
reason.
no problem. You were in the
Yeah.
middle of answering your question. How has your experience getting involved at USC been like?
Yeah, it's been super great. So to start off with, um, I was actually a research assistant with the Dr. Chang's lab, and I did work on the tissue engineering stuff. And then I'm also a program chair. Like you said, that I took few courses in the regulatory classes in the pharmacy school. And there I met few more students who were really interested in it. And that's where I got interested to be more into the regulatory part of it. And then they have a club, and then I was the program chair of that. And then I was also a Viterbi mentor, and uh and then to start with, like, I attended like the Viterbi trek, where I went to the Abbott campus, where I met like a lot of USC alums, to be honest, and I'm still connected with them. And it's been great. I'm also in this dance club, like you said. So yeah, that's been fun too. And there's this also like I'm a vegetarian, so there's also a vegan club. So we do hang out there, and there's also a meditation club that I'm in USC. So uh, that's been fun. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, lots of clubs on campus.
Yeah.
How do you two manage your time within, academics and social, and if you're working? Um, is there a specific time you dedicate to academics, to social life, to work? Has that been difficult to manage at all?
But like I was the course producer for BME 511. So I can say like it's not too like hectic where you need to be like where everything is like on tight and then you need like a lot of schedules and stuff. It's just like class work takes up like around like an hour or two in your day, and then the work has, it's like being like a course producer is more of like grading and like helping the professor out with quizzes and exams and stuff. So that takes up like hardly like 2 to 3 hours out of your week. And apart from that, like the clubs, and they usually hang out probably like, like once in a week or like once in 2 weeks. So it's been okay. It's definitely easier to manage. Yeah, not too hard.
No, I agree. And just to keep track of everything sometimes, like when my schedule will get a little hectic, I'll just put everything in my Google Calendar and just be like, okay, this is what I gotta do in a day and kind of just
Yeah.
block things out. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's been super
calendars.
helpful.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And something to just be aware of is that grad courses, they're usually 2 times a week. Or sometimes classes are once a week and they're like 3 hours long. So sometimes students coming in, they're like, I have so much free time. Like, what am I going to do with all my free time? So make sure you get involved so you can, stay busy and learn and meet people. So coming onto campus, did you both feel safe coming onto campus? Was it what you expected? What is it like coming from your home to LA? What was that? What was that like?
Like to be specific, like I'm an international student, so this was my first time coming to US, like along with coming to USC. So I was like super scared because I heard so many people saying a lot of different things, but but like I did attend the same seminar, and then I had like USC gave out like for international students, we had like a proper plan, like how to get onto the USC after you land from your flight, like from airport, how do you take your way up to like come into the USC. And it was really like I was so scared before, but it's definitely not like 100%. It's safer. And then we have shuttles, like, yeah guys, like from airport to the Union Station, and then from Union Station to USC we have shuttles running, I think around every half an hour, which makes it more easier to travel and safe. And that's how I came. So yeah, so that was very easy for me. And I also traveled with my roommates, so it was easier.
I'm definitely a bit biased because I'm from LA, so I think I'm just used to it. Like, I feel like it's very safe. I've never had any issues.
Yeah, let's see. So definitely public transportation if you don't have a car. Good to use public transportation in LA. Just from a head nod, do you think you need a car while you're a grad student in LA?
I've
On it?
def oh,
No, go ahead.
I commute to USC, so I'm using the public transport system like all the time. I don't feel the need to drive all the way since the public transport system, like, of course, it's not at the level of New York, but LA is still pretty intensive, and you can get to basically pretty much everywhere that you want to go in LA.
All right.
I agree with her too. And also we get the USC tab card where like we can literally use it everywhere, and that's how I commute everywhere too.
Okay. And Sharanya, you mentioned you live around campus, right? How did you go
Right.
about finding the housing and your roommates?
So like there are a lot of Facebook groups and also WhatsApp groups, where like a lot of USC students, international students are looking out for roommates and like for houses. There are people subleasing it, and there are people like people leasing it. So I think I started around in April looking out for houses because I think I got my admit at March or April start. And then I started looking out for houses during April, and then I searched in Google how far is it from USC to the house, and then also we have the DPS zone and we have the free lift. So I wanted to get a house in the DPS zone and the free lift zone. So then I found a house, and then I was searching for my roommates because I had few preferences. And then there are a lot of people when you look around it, like there's a lot of people looking for roommates and stuff. So I found few people like from my hometown. So that was easier for me to connect with them. And I did meet them priorly before moving to the US so that I get to have a connection and like know if I'm gonna go well with them. So I did talk to them before, and then we booked together and we came together, and yeah, that's been it.
Were these students BME students or were they
No,
other questions?
they were computer science. Yeah,
Computer science. Lots of computer science
a lot.
students. All right. So, what is your favorite place on campus if you need a study or maybe a food place? Where do you usually go to? Where can we find you if you're on campus?
I see. My first year, I was always in Doheny Library because I was just amazed like how amazing it looks. It literally looks like out of a Harry Potter book. So I used to be always in Doheny, but lately I've been hanging around in the Ronald Tutor Campus Center because there is a food court downstairs, and there's also like the first generation like a lounge where I stay all the time and then study. So you guys can find me there.
I'm always at USC Village. Like after classes, I immediately walk over to USC Village and I just try out like a different restaurant like every time. I'm a bit of a foodie, so I just like trying different things on the menu.
Yeah, the village is great. Trader Joe's, Target. What else do you need? So let's see. What advice would you two give future Viterbi students?
Yeah.
Lots of thought going into this one. I'm taking it.
Yeah, because I know, like, if you guys are international students like me, I was super scared. I was really scared the first semester. So I literally had a talk with Daisy, and I think she knew, like, I was super scared. But lately, after going out, like, I had like so many chances and events, like the VGSC events that used to happen like almost like every month, and all the events, the networking events, and talking to people of similar interests, and meeting people out of the clubs. So there are like tons of clubs here. Like there is also a club for like beauty and makeup if you guys are interested towards it. So I made like a lot of friends, and then I felt like I was really homesick in the beginning, and then later I was like, no, I love LA. I'm gonna stay more here. So uh, I know it would be hard for you guys. I know there's a lot of thinking, thoughts, and a lot of things running over your mind. But just don't worry. Just believe in yourself. Like that's what I did. Like I was so scared, but somehow like USC held me, and you see like you wear a hoodie, like USC hoodie or a jacket anywhere, and people are gonna recognize you and they're gonna be like fight on. So that somehow makes me feel like okay, I am included in here. So just don't worry about it. Take it easy. Professors are cool. Everyone's like super friendly and it's gonna be easy. So don't worry about it.
I definitely second that and like take advantage of your Trojan network. I know with networking you think like, oh, you want to network with someone that has the job that you want, but that's not really what networking is. It's your peers, right? It's the friends that you make in your classes. It's just the people that you meet in your clubs, and you never know, maybe they'll be your future coworker one day. And my advice to you would be just to take advantage of everything that you get.
Yeah, I agree. You definitely want to build relationships with people inside the classroom as well as out. So it's really important. Any last minute questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A. But one more question for our students. What's something you would wish that you knew on your very first day of class?
I can answer that. There's this helpful plugin called Course Schedule that I find is super useful because it kind of also has ratings for Rate My Professor, if that's something that you like to use to decide on your classes. And it also lets you know which classes conflict with your other classes. And that's just something I didn't know about my first semester going in, but I definitely took advantage in my second semester.
Yeah, I've heard quite a few students tell me about that. So it's useful. What about you, Sharanya?
I honestly don't know. Like, I'm just like, I learned a lot coming here. So I'm just thinking around which is more important. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely, I remember Sharanga coming in and like you mentioned, she was nervous and she had a lot of questions and we kind of helped settle those nerves. And now
Yeah.
look at her and she's about to graduate. So really happy to see that. But all right, that should be it for our student panel. Thank you both for joining us. And
Thank you both.
we will keep it open for questions if anyone has any questions. I am gonna share my screen again just so actually I'll put my meeting link, my Calendly link in the webinar chat in case any of you want to meet with me to talk more about the programs, the degrees. Feel free to schedule a meeting with me. But yeah, we'll leave it open for questions. And if you have any questions for our students too, this would also be a good time to ask them. I think it's always great to hear from students themselves. So for current students, what are your plans after finishing your degrees? What resources have you found helpful in making plans for the future?
Yeah. So like I said before, um, my plan is of like definitely to like get a job after I graduate, but I am also keeping my options open, uh, because of the current jobs, the situation. So like the resources, coming to the resources, like I said, like I attended like the networking events that was conducted through these clubs. They were like all the top biomedical device companies like Medtronic, Abbott, Edward Life Sciences, name it. We had like people coming over from all these companies and then helping us out, like, telling us about their company and the products that they do, and also get involved with the career fairs that we had. And I did make a lot of connections through there too. And the other like one thing that really helped me was the Viterbi trek that I think that happens every semester, where I got the opportunity to go to Abbott, see the place in person, look around, meet people working around there, and also get connected with the professionals who are actually working like the job that I really need. So that's been super helpful. And my other options are, currently I'm like an intern at this pharmacy school. Uh, m- I'm focusing more on quality and regulatory. So there is a regulatory office here in the USC, and I'm an intern there. It's the consulting center at the USC pharmacy school, and I've been interning there. So that's my plan. After I graduate, probably I'll take up research more, or I'm applying for jobs, and I'll probably get forward with it and get a job here.
What about you, Labiba? I know you still have a little ways to go until graduation, but is there anything you found helpful so far. I think she might be frozen. All right, so let's see. Yeah, there she goes. So we'll move on to the next question. When you mentioned that MS students can get research position in the departments, is there a research recruiting event or something similar? How do students go about finding those internships, those research positions in different departments? So we have what we call Handshake here, where students can look up different internship opportunities, different job opportunities. That's really where you would go to search for those positions. Sometimes if you are volunteering in research labs, they'll let you know those positions, but I would definitely recommend checking Handshake first.
Yeah, and Handshake's just an online platform where jobs are posted. Yeah, and it's like an internal. Every school, a lot of schools have it.
Also, probably like I approached Dr. Chung through like because I took her class, so I shadowed her class for I shadowed her in the laboratory for like a semester, and then I was the research assistant. So uh probably like talk to your professors and ask them if you're interested in your research, and if they're okay willing to help you out, you guys can, which they definitely do, so you guys can like shadow in for a bit and then probably ask for a research assistantship.
All right. So I don't see any more questions coming through. So no one has any more questions, then we can go ahead and say our goodbyes. But we really hope you join us at USC. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to set up a meeting with me to discuss it a little bit more. But we do want to make sure that you're well informed before you make a decision. So if you have any questions, again, email me, set up a meeting. But we hope to see you in the fall. And again, congratulations on your admission.
Congratulations, everyone, and thank you to our panelists, Daisy. Thank you so much, and yeah, everyone, have a lovely evening or afternoon or morning, wherever, whenever you are. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.